a world often overwhelmed by stories of hardship and despair, few narratives stand out as truly transformative. Stories that not only reveal the depths of human suffering, but also illuminate the incredible resilience and drive for change that can emerge from it. Imagine a young girl, orphaned at a tender age, thrust suddenly into a reality where stability and love seem impossibly out of reach. Her earliest memories are marked by cold nights in unfamiliar shelters, the absence of family to hold on to, and a gnawing sense of abandonment that leaves an indelible mark on her soul. Yet, amidst this profound loss, something extraordinary begins to take shape. Instead of succumbing to despair, she channels her pain into an unwavering sense of purpose, transforming her personal tragedy into a mission that reaches beyond her own story. This is not a tale of victimhood, but of resilience and relentless hope. Although her childhood was marked by rejection and hardship, she refused to let those early wounds define her future. Instead, she saw in her own suffering a calling, a desire to ensure that no other child would endure similar rejection and loneliness. Her journey is a testament to the extraordinary capacity of the human spirit to turn adversity into a catalyst for meaningful change. What makes her story particularly compelling is her ability to harness her pain for a cause greater than herself, creating a foundation that would eventually become a symbol of hope and support for countless rejected and forgotten children. The challenge she faced was not only emotional but also systemic. How do you, from the depths of personal grief, construct a platform capable of addressing the widespread neglect faced by far too many vulnerable children? How do you build trust and credibility when the world has already turned its back on you? These questions hung heavily over her early efforts, yet they did not deter her. Instead, she began to see her orphanhood not as a permanent label, but as the ignition for something larger, a mission to reimagine the possibilities for children cast aside by society. What started as small acts of kindness gradually grew into a structured effort, an initiative that would eventually attract donors, partners, and supporters from different parts of the world. Her story is a powerful reminder that even the most painful early experiences can be transformed into a force for good. It challenges the notion that our circumstances irrevocably define us and reminds us that resilience, combined with a clear purpose, can lead to groundbreaking change. The narrative also invites reflection on the importance of compassion, not just as a feeling, but as an active pursuit, an unwavering commitment to making a difference in the lives of those who are often marginalized, rejected, or forgotten. It is a story that resonates deeply because it speaks to a universal truth. No matter how dark the beginning, there is always a potential for hope, for healing, and for creating a legacy that transcends pain. As her journey unfolds, it becomes clear that her experiences shaped the very fabric of the foundation she would build. Every dollar raised, every child supported, was a testament to her unwavering belief that no child should feel abandoned or unloved. Her story is not only about overcoming personal tragedy, but also about fostering a movement, one that challenges societal perceptions of rejection and inspires collective action. It is a shining example of how one person's pain can be transformed into a powerful catalyst for change, illuminating a path forward for anyone who believes that suffering, when harnessed with purpose, can lead to profound impact. Her story begins here, but what unfolds next promises to reveal a narrative of hope, resilience, and the extraordinary capacity of the human heart to turn tragedy into a legacy of kindness. Building upon her unwavering resolve, she recognized that true transformation extends beyond individual effort. It necessitates cultivating a community of allies committed to shared values. Her journey illuminated the importance of strategic partnerships, leveraging collective resources to amplify her mission's reach. By engaging local businesses, educational institutions, and civic organizations, she fostered a network that could sustain long-term initiatives. These collaborations often became more than mere financial support. They embodied a cultural shift, embedding awareness of rejection and vulnerability into the social fabric. The synergy created by such coalitions enabled her to develop comprehensive programs that addressed not only immediate needs, but also systemic barriers, such as lack of access to quality education, mental health support, and safe environments. Furthermore, she learned to harness storytelling not just as an emotional outlet, but as a powerful tool for advocacy. When she shared her story in public forums, her words began to resonate on deeper levels, stirring empathy and prompting action among diverse audiences. She understood that authentic narratives possess an almost alchemical power, transforming passive listeners into active participants. These stories became rallying cries, inspiring donors to see the children as more than statistics. They became symbols of potential and hope. By emphasizing individual stories of resilience, she subtly shifted societal perceptions, challenging stigmas associated with rejection, poverty, and neglect. This approach cultivated a movement rooted in empathy, where communities began to see their role as participants in a shared destiny. Another crucial layer involves reimagining the concept of safety and belonging. Traditional approaches often focus narrowly on material provision, yet she recognized that emotional security is equally vital for a child's development. Creating spaces where children feel truly valued demands more than physical infrastructure. It requires cultivating an environment of trust, consistency, and unconditional acceptance. She implemented mentorship programs pairing older youth with younger ones, fostering peer support systems that reinforced a sense of stability. These relationships, built on mutual respect and shared experiences, served as anchors amid turbulent circumstances. The idea was to nurture not just survival but also a thriving sense of self-worth, laying the groundwork for resilience that could withstand future challenges. Now, consider how this shifts when viewed through the lens of scalable impact. Her efforts gradually evolved from localized initiatives to models adaptable across different regions and cultures. She devised a modular framework, flexible yet rooted in core principles, that could be tailored to various community contexts. This systematic approach enabled other changemakers to replicate her success, thereby expanding her vision into a broader movement. Consequently, her foundation transitioned from a singular entity into a catalyst for widespread transformation, empowering new leaders to recognize the potential within rejection. Each scaled effort reinforced the idea that every child rejected by societal norms is an opportunity for change, not an endpoint of despair. This ripple effect underscores how resilience, coupled with strategic adaptation, can ignite a culture of continuous innovation and compassion. Additionally, her journey underscored the importance of addressing the internal narratives children develop about themselves. Rejection often leaves scars not only on the body or environment, but also deep within a child's perception of their worth. She prioritized psychological healing alongside material support by integrating counseling, art therapy, and mindfulness practices into her programs. These interventions aim to reframe internal dialogues, fostering a sense of empowerment and agency. She understood that fostering a resilient mindset is akin to planting seeds in a garden. They require patience, nurturing, and an environment free of weeds like shame or self-doubt. Her approach emphasized that building a foundation of self-love and confidence transforms external support into inner strength, enabling children to face future adversities with a renewed sense of purpose. Finally, her story challenges the conventional notion that hardships are insurmountable barriers. Instead, it presents rejection as a crucible, an opportunity to forge strength, compassion, and innovation. Her unwavering belief in the potential for growth, despite adversity, redefines resilience from a passive endurance into an active act of rebellion against despair. By transforming her own pain into a blueprint for systemic change, she demonstrated that the most profound acts of kindness often emerge from the deepest wounds. Her legacy is a testament to the power of unwavering vision, emphasizing that when one dares to see beyond the pain, the possibilities for healing and transformation become boundless. Building upon the notion that healing extends beyond tangible resources, the emphasis shifts toward cultivating a community sense that embodies collective responsibility. When a group of individuals aligns their efforts, it creates a resilient web of support that sustains growth long after initial interventions. This communal fabric acts like an intricate mosaic, each tile representing a different facet of care, whether emotional, educational, or spiritual. The true challenge is fostering an environment where shared ownership becomes intrinsic, transforming local populations into stewards of change rather than passive recipients. To achieve this, it's essential to facilitate spaces where voices of children, families, and community leaders are heard equally, allowing for a bottom-up approach that respects cultural nuances and empowers indigenous solutions. Further, considering the dynamic nature of trauma, it becomes vital to incorporate flexible mechanisms that adapt to evolving needs. Children's circumstances are rarely static. They shift as they gain new insights, face unfamiliar challenges, or encounter different stages of growth. A one-size-fits-all model falters precisely because it does not account for personal trajectories. Therefore, innovative frameworks, such as modular programs that can be customized, are essential. These can include mobile mental health clinics, rotating mentorship initiatives, or localized art therapy workshops that respond immediately to emerging issues. In doing so, programs become living entities, capable of morphing in response to feedback rather than remaining rigid, bureaucratic structures. This adaptability serves as a safeguard, ensuring that no child is left behind simply because their needs evolve faster than the system's capacity to respond. Now, think about how this extends when considering technological applications. In an increasingly interconnected world, digital platforms offer powerful tools for catalyzing outreach and nurturing solidarity. Imagine virtual mentorship circles where children from disparate regions exchange stories, fostering a sense of shared purpose and global community. Online repositories of success stories, tailored resources, and interactive workshops can bridge geographical gaps that once seemed insurmountable. Yet, technology alone isn't sufficient. It must be complemented by local engagement. Digital literacy programs become a gateway, enabling marginalized children to access these resources and participate actively in their own development. The synergy between high-tech solutions and grassroots engagement creates an ecosystem where empowerment is not confined by physical boundaries. Consequently, there is an opportunity to rethink how success is measured within these endeavors. Standard metrics, based predominantly on immediate outcomes, such as school attendance or basic health indicators, may overlook deeper, more meaningful transformations. It is imperative to develop comprehensive evaluations that encompass psychological resilience, sense of agency, and community integration. These dimensions reveal whether children internalize their worth and develop a vision that transcends their current circumstances. For instance, tracking how many children take active roles in community projects or become peer mentors can serve as indicators of internal growth and societal reintegration. When assessments evolve to capture these nuanced progressions, programs can be fine-tuned to foster not just survival, but genuine empowerment. Another important facet involves creating pathways that extend beyond physical and emotional healing to encompass future aspirations. The notion of hope must be embedded strategically within every aspect of the support infrastructure. This requires deliberate exposure to new possibilities, whether through vocational training, exposure to arts and culture, or mentorship from successful role models who have overcome similar adversity. The act of envisioning a different life, with tangible goals and attainable milestones, fuels resilience in a deeply profound way. Consider how a young girl, once burdened by the weight of rejection, might find renewed strength when introduced to stories of individuals who transformed societal rejection into innovation or leadership. By threading hope into every interaction, the foundation sustains not only immediate recovery, but also the seeds of long-term motivation. Furthermore, it's crucial to recognize the importance of fostering self-efficacy as the cornerstone for enduring change. When children learn to influence their circumstances actively, they begin to see themselves as agents of transformation, not just objects of aid. This perspective shift can be cultivated through participatory decision-making processes, inviting children to co-create solutions, set personal goals, and take ownership of their growth. Such approaches resemble planting a seed and giving it the freedom to grow in its own unique way, rather than prescribing a fixed path. With each success, whether small or large, their confidence blossoms, reinforcing their belief that they can shape their future rather than be shaped by it. This empowerment, rooted in agency, becomes a catalyst that sustains their journey long after external support wanes. Ultimately, embracing this expansive view blurs the line between intervention and transformation. It moves beyond the immediate act of aid, positioning each child as an active participant in their own development and as a catalyst for community renewal. The process becomes a continuous dance, one where external efforts ignite internal sparks, which then radiate outward to inspire others. It is in this intricate interplay of human resilience, collective responsibility, innovative adaptation, and unwavering hope that the true essence of sustainable change resides. When deeply integrated, These elements forge a dynamic system capable of nurturing not only individual recovery, but also fostering a global movement rooted in compassion, empowerment, and shared purpose. Now, consider how this approach fundamentally shifts the way success is perceived, not merely as a fixed milestone, but as an ongoing process rooted in evolving personal narratives. When children internalize that their growth is a dynamic journey rather than a static achievement, it fosters a mindset of perpetual development. To cultivate this perspective, dedicated spaces for reflection and self-assessment are essential, enabling children to recognize incremental progress and redefine their goals accordingly. For example, implementing journaling practices or peer-led group discussions helps children articulate their evolving aspirations, making abstract notions of success tangible and adaptable over time. This continuous reflection process transforms growth into a living, breathing entity, encouraging resilience amid setbacks and reinforcing the understanding that setbacks are integral stages of mastery rather than failures. Building on this, however, introduces the importance of embedding cultural relevance into every supportive framework. Human experiences are deeply intertwined with cultural contexts, which shape perceptions of worth, resilience, and hope. When programs neglect this, they risk becoming superficial or disconnected from the children's lived realities. Instead, weaving local traditions, languages, and values into intervention strategies can significantly enhance engagement. For instance, integrating storytelling methods rooted in indigenous narratives or employing traditional art forms as therapeutic outlets recognizes the richness of their backgrounds and reinforces a sense of identity. Such integration affirms that their cultural heritage isn't a barrier, but a vital resource in their path toward healing and empowerment. This approach ensures that the support provided resonates authentically, making it more compelling and sustainable. Furthermore, when examining the broader influence of this work, it's crucial to understand the ripple effect that empowering a single child can generate within a community. In many contexts, each individual acts as a node in a larger social fabric. Changes in one person's outlook can inspire shifts in familial attitudes, peer relationships, and community norms. Imagine a young person who, after reclaiming their sense of self-worth through participation in a tailored program, begins mentoring peers or leading local initiatives. Such a transformation can gradually dismantle stigmas associated with rejection or vulnerability, replacing them with narratives of resilience and collective strength. These shifts often cascade outward, ultimately altering the community's collective consciousness. Recognizing this phenomenon underscores that investing in individual empowerment yields exponential benefits, rippling through generations and fostering a culture that values resilience over victimhood. Now, shift focus to technology's emerging role as a facilitator of sustained engagement and innovation. Beyond basic access, digital tools can serve as platforms for peer-to-peer connection, mentorship, and even virtual classrooms tailored to diverse learning styles. Envision a mobile app that allows children to document their achievements, share stories, and access resources created by others who have faced similar struggles. Such platforms democratize access to inspiration and practical support, reducing isolation and fostering a sense of belonging across geographical boundaries. Additionally, data analytics from digital interactions provide real-time insights into needs and progress, empowering program designers to adapt swiftly and precisely. Digital solutions also open avenues for remote training of community facilitators, ensuring that local leadership keeps pace with evolving best practices. These technological avenues, when thoughtfully integrated, transcend physical limitations, democratizing opportunities for growth and connection. Another layer deserving attention pertains to involving families and caretakers as active participants in the child's development. Support structures become far more resilient and effective when extended beyond the individual to include those closest to them. Training parents and guardians in trauma-informed caregiving, for instance, equips them to reinforce positive behaviors and emotional resilience in everyday interactions. Such initiatives shift the household from a space of potential trauma reenactment to a sanctuary of stability and affirmation. Imagine a caregiver who, armed with new understanding, consciously cultivates an environment where their child's voice is validated, fears are acknowledged, and hopes are nurtured. This reinforcement solidifies the children's internalization of their worth, transforming external interventions into internalized, sustainable change. The family unit thus becomes an active force of healing, anchoring children firmly within a supportive ecosystem. Finally, embracing this holistic perspective necessitates a mindset that views setbacks not as dead ends, but as integral parts of the learning curve. Every obstacle encountered is an opportunity to glean deeper insights about individual and systemic barriers, prompting innovative reimaginations of support strategies. For instance, when a particular approach fails to resonate with a segment of children, it sparks a reevaluation of underlying assumptions and encourages creative solutions aligned with their specific realities. Cultivating patience and a willingness to adapt, rather than insisting on rigid protocols, fosters a culture of continuous evolution. It embodies the understanding that true progress involves cycles of experimentation and recalibration, ultimately culminating in more nuanced and effective support systems. This perspective, rooted in resilience, fuels the relentless pursuit of a future where rejection gives way to empowerment at every level. Now, look at how intentionally nurturing a child's sense of purpose can serve as a transformative anchor amid turbulence. When children are guided to discover personal meaning in their experiences, whether through storytelling, creative expression, or goal setting, they develop a resilience rooted not only in hope, but also in clarity of direction. Imagine providing a young person with opportunities to articulate their ambitions and passions, which can act as a compass guiding their choices. Facilitators may create spaces where children explore their identities beyond mere survival, encouraging activities that connect them to broader aspirations, like becoming a community leader, an artist, or an advocate. When children internalize a purpose that transcends immediate hardship, it offers a perspective shift that reframes obstacles as temporary hurdles rather than insurmountable barriers. This sense of purpose becomes a psychological safety net, reinforcing their capacity to persevere through setbacks, knowing that their efforts contribute to a larger, meaningful goal. Building on this, however, involves recognizing that purpose must be adaptable and fluid, responding dynamically to the child's growth and changing circumstances. Rigid frameworks can inadvertently diminish motivation if they don't accommodate evolving interests or new insights. For instance, a child who initially aspires to be a teacher might later discover an affinity for technology or environmental activism. Supporting such shifts requires flexible mentorship models, where guidance is personalized and non-prescriptive. This approach confronts the misconception that purpose is static or predetermined. Instead, it emphasizes that discovery is a continuous process of exploration. As children encounter successes and failures, their sense of purpose matures, becoming an internal compass aligned with their authentic selves. Encouraging this ongoing evolution fosters independence, empowering children to take ownership of their aspirations, which in turn enhances their resilience against future uncertainties. Furthermore, integrating purpose into a child's development demands that communities recognize and honor individual narratives. Each story, a unique thread woven into a broader fabric of collective resilience. When local culture, history, and values are woven into their sense of purpose, children are more likely to feel connected and validated. For example, involving elders and community storytellers to share tales of perseverance and triumph can deepen a child's understanding that adversity has historically been met with innovation and unity. These narratives serve as powerful catalysts, illustrating that challenges are not isolated or defining, but part of a shared human journey. When children see their personal aspirations reflected in cultural stories, they experience a profound sense of belonging, which elevates their motivation to pursue their goals despite obstacles. Now consider how this perspective shifts when viewed through the lens of community transformation, how fostering individual purpose can ripple outward, influencing societal norms and collective identity. As children internalize their reasons for striving, they become ambassadors of change within their circles. Their newfound confidence inspires others, creating a cascade effect where collective resilience begins to take root. Imagine a young person who, driven by a sense of environmental stewardship, organizes neighborhood cleanups or awareness campaigns. Their initiative, born from personal purpose, ignites similar efforts among friends, family, and neighbors. Over time, this pattern can challenge entrenched apathy or despair, replacing it with active participation and shared ownership of community well-being. The key here is understanding that nurturing individual purpose is not an isolated act, but a seed capable of transforming societal narratives from one of rejection to one of possibility. Another vital aspect is recognizing how purpose fuels intrinsic motivation, the internal drive that sustains effort long after external encouragement fades. External rewards or recognition have their place, but they often lack the durability needed for deep-rooted resilience. When children are guided to connect their efforts with personal meaning, their motivation becomes self-sustaining. Consider how a child who sees their volunteer work as a way to honor their ancestors' struggles may approach future challenges with unwavering determination. This internalized motivation acts as a wellspring from which resilience flows, turning setbacks into valuable lessons rather than dead ends. Cultivating this internal drive requires creating opportunities for reflection, helping children articulate why their goals matter, and reinforcing that their worth is not contingent solely on immediate success, but on their ongoing commitment to growth. Ultimately, fostering purpose as a central pillar within these frameworks underscores a shift from reactive aid to proactive empowerment. It transforms children from passive recipients of assistance into active architects of their future paths. When guided with intentionality, purpose becomes a catalyst for creativity, innovation, and sustained resilience, enabling them to reframe rejection not as a final verdict, but as a catalyst for reinvention. This mindset encourages a perspective where every obstacle carries the potential for growth. Every setback is an invitation to learn, and every child possesses within them the seeds of a meaningful, impactful life, if only they are entrusted with the opportunity to discover and nurture their own purpose. Drawing these strands together, we see that the tapestry of resilience and transformation is woven through multiple, interconnected threads. Each element, whether cultivating a collective sense of purpose, embedding cultural relevance, leveraging technological innovation, or nurturing internal growth, acts as an essential strand that strengthens the overall fabric. The power of this fabric lies not in the individual fibers, but in how seamlessly they interlace, creating a resilient whole capable of withstanding the inevitable shifts and strains of change. It becomes evident that no single approach can sustain this complex process. Instead, it is the deliberate intertwining of these facets that produces a durable foundation capable of supporting genuine transformation. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer, like navigating a landscape where every step is informed by a holistic understanding of human interconnectedness and the nuanced nature of adversity. The journey involves more than addressing surface-level symptoms. It requires engaging with the core of human experience, recognizing that strength emerges from the convergence of internal resolve, community support, cultural affirmation, and innovative adaptation. The metaphor of a symphony resonates here. Each instrument must be tuned and played in harmony, for the collective melody surpasses the impact of any single note. When this harmony is achieved, it provides both stability and the potential for what once seemed impossible. Reflecting on this journey so far, it becomes apparent that the overarching narrative is one of reclaiming agency amid circumstances that threaten to diminish it. The stories of rejection and hardship, when viewed through this integrative lens, are transformed into a dynamic landscape of opportunities, moments where resilience is forged, hope is rekindled, and purpose is discovered anew. The idea is not merely to patch wounds, but to reconfigure the entire terrain, creating pathways that empower individuals to traverse obstacles with confidence and grace. This approach underscores a fundamental truth, that the resilience we seek to instill is inherently rooted in a delicate balance between inner strength and outer support, tradition and innovation, individual aspiration and collective effort. As we pivot towards the final reflection, it becomes crucial to recognize that this intricate web of ideas does not exist in abstraction. Instead, it functions as a living, breathing system, receptive to continuous recalibration and responsive to the unique rhythms of each community and individual. The implications resonate deeply. Fostering genuine change demands not only resourcefulness, but also a nuanced sensitivity to context, culture, and human complexity. It is a call to remain adaptable without losing sight of the core philosophy that underpin these endeavors, that every person, regardless of their starting point, holds within them the capacity for transformation when their environment supports and celebrates that potential. With this perspective, the challenge transforms into an invitation to craft a future where resilience is cultivated as a collective art, deeply rooted in purpose and sustained by a shared commitment to growth.